We discuss a lot of people every day here on the channel. Just earlier this morning, we discussed Pat McAfee and his ongoing struggles at ESPN. We often talk about the huge embarrassing failures, people like Bomani Jones, Jamel Hill. Sometimes we will talk about the wicked weave of the woke, Joy Reid. We poke fun at Stephen A. Smith and the grown man that calls himself Shay Shay. We talk about the sinking Titanic known as CNN and the woman they mistakenly thought would be their savior in prime time, Caitlin Collins. Katie Roo! Katie Roo! Every so often, we will talk about Andy Cooper or Wolf Blitzer. Woof, woof. Typically, though, when we're discussing any of these people, I like to keep things more lighthearted. Take them too seriously. Outside of maybe Joy Reid, most of the people that we discuss here on the channel, I don't think they're bad people. None of them really annoy me. They don't get under my skin. It's rare for someone that I don't know personally to possess the ability to really piss me off. It's rare for me to not be able to find one redeeming quality in someone. But I have been following the NBA career of Draymond Green since he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors. I think it was in 2012. And all that time, I have yet to see one redeeming quality in Draymond Green. I cannot stand Draymond Green. This dude is a plague on the NBA. He is an absolute cancer to this league. Draymond Green is the most overrated player in the history of the NBA. And that is not hyperbole. I mean exactly what I said. You tell me another player in the history of the NBA that is more overrated than Draymond Green. If this dude had been drafted by the Detroit Pistons or the Orlando Magic, we would have never heard of him. At best, he would have been a journeyman player in the league, bouncing around from team to team, coming off the bench with limited minutes. Every year at the trade deadline, he would be one of those players being moved so a team could get rid of an expiring contract. Hell, if he were drafted by the Detroit Pistons, it is entirely possible that Draymond Green, he would have been out of the NBA within 5 years. Dude can't shoot. He's not an elite rebounder, can't create his own shot. He is not a facilitator offensively where he can make other guys better. Honestly, I think he's completely useless. But to his credit, and he was really smart for doing this, Draymond Green, he found his role in Golden State and he plays it to perfection. Steph and Clay are the talent. Draymond Green is the mouth. He's the agitator, the disruptor. The thing is, that role is very easy to play when you are surrounded by superstar talent who can back up all your shit on the scoreboard. If the Golden State Warriors were winning 20 games every year, Draymond Green, he would be a laughingstock. Matter of fact, with his long history of being a complete shitfuck, Draymond Green might have been kicked out of the league by now. That would have damn sure been a possibility in this particular scenario after what happened Tuesday night. A couple of nights ago, Minnesota Timberwolves, they're in the city of Pride to play the Rainbow Warriors. 2 minutes into the game, Chris Paul gets a rebound, dribbles up the court to set up the offense. Now, just in case you were wondering, Chris Paul was starting for Steph Curry because Steph Curry's out injured. While both teams were in transition, Rudy Gobert and Klay Thompson, they start tussling back and forth. It was really no big deal, nothing serious, something that we have seen in an NBA game thousands of times. Players from both teams step in to break up the fake fight. Draymond Green sprints halfway across the court, attacks Rudy Gobert from behind like the weak motherfucker that he is, and puts Rudy Gobert in a chokehold. My boy Antonio Daniels, he pointed this out earlier today. The chokehold, it is illegal in 25 states. Not only was this careless from Draymond Green, it was dangerous. Neck injuries are not anything to play around with. One sudden move, one snap of the neck, and Draymond Green, he could have ended Rudy Gobert's NBA career or possibly even worse. Now, obviously, Draymond Green was ejected from this game along with Klay Thompson. Now, I don't understand why Klay Thompson was ejected. I didn't think he did anything wrong, but I completely understood the ejection of Draymond Green. Matter of fact, I wish he would be ejected from the entire NBA. Should have been ejected from the league years ago. After the game, Steve Kerr, he addressed the media about what happened. His comments are why I hold Steve Kerr partially responsible for the historical behavior from Draymond Green. Watch for yourself.
Draymond piece of it, if you watch the replay, Rudy had his hands on Clay's neck, and that's why Draymond went after Rudy. And I saw one replay right after it happened. Guys on the back of the bench were telling us that Rudy had Draymond or had Clay, and that's why Draymond went at Rudy. So that's all I know.
What? Seriously? Did Steve Kerr just try to justify Draymond Green's behavior? You know, it would be one thing if this were a rare occurrence. It would be one thing if this were out of character for Draymond Green. But the problem is, it's not. This is his character. This is the character that he has been playing for years in Golden State. And the reason I hold Steve Kerr responsible is because he allows Draymond Green to get away with it. Before the season last year, Draymond Green, he punched Jordan Poole during training camp. That wasn't the first altercation that he has had with a teammate. This dude essentially ran Kevin Durant out of town. What people seem to forget, Draymond Green, he was the one calling Kevin Durant after the Cavs came back from being down 3-1 to win the NBA Finals. A series where the momentum completely shifted after Draymond Green tried to play with LeBron James nuts and was suspended for a game. After they lost, Dre, he's crying like a little bitch in the parking lot and calls Kevin Durant. Oh, Kevin, can I call you Kevin? LeBron just punked me out in front of the world. I'm not man enough to beat LeBron. Please come save us. Kevin Durant, he agrees to join the Warriors, a decision that has haunted him the rest of his career, at least in terms of public perception. Everything is fine in Golden State for a while. The Warriors are winning rings. Kevin Durant's winning Finals MVP. What eventually happens? Draymond Green starts getting jealous, starts taking shots at Kevin Durant. At the time, Kevin Durant, arguably the best player in the NBA, and Draymond Green runs him out of town. Hell, Kevin Durant wanted to get so far away from this disease, he flew all the way to the other side of the country. Last year during the playoffs, Draymond Green stomps on the chest of a defenseless Domantas Sabonis. This is a pattern of behavior. We're 12 games into the NBA season? Draymond Green already been ejected twice. Hell, he's been ejected twice in the last 5 days. Throughout his NBA career, he has been tossed 19 times from NBA games. Now, just to put that number in perspective, if you were to combine the ejections of the next two players on the list, Draymond Green has twice as many ejections. Like I've told you guys before, this dude has developed go-away heat with a large portion of the NBA fan base. Sure, Draymond Green has his supporters. He has a devoted fan base of shitfucks and dumbasses. But there's a lot of NBA fans who do not want to see him on the court, myself included. I hate when the Pelicans play the Warriors because Steph Curry always seems to go off on us. Seems like every time we play the Warriors, the Pels build up a big lead the first half. Steph Curry comes into the third quarter and shoots the ball directly out of the building. It's painful to watch, but it's almost like a respectful pain. I'm amazed at his ability. I respect his talent. And overall, I respect Steph Curry. But I have zero respect for Draymond Green. This dude has become a spectacle. He makes a mockery of the NBA. Draymond Green relishes the attention. He doesn't care if it's negative attention, which it mostly is. He just wants the attention. He is the classic attention seeker. When I heard about this Tuesday night, I was wondering how Adam Silver was going to handle this. I mean, he suspended Ja Morant for 25 games for what he called conduct detrimental to the league. What did Ja Morant do? Was he fighting with other players? Was he embarrassing the league on national television? Was he arguing with officials like Draymond Green does every single game and somehow gets away with it? No, and no. Ja Morant was goofing around on social media, acting like a fake gangster waving a gun around. He was allegedly involved in a couple of altercations that happened off the court. Now, don't get me wrong, Ja Morant deserved his suspension, but in my opinion, his behavior wasn't nearly as detrimental to the league as the behavior of Draymond Green. Before all of that information came out last season about Ja Morant, he was being perceived as the next big superstar in the NBA. For the most part, he had a clean image. Draymond Green has not had a clean image in years. So I was expecting to see a harsh punishment from Adam Silver. Imagine my surprise when I get the notification earlier this afternoon that Draymond Green was suspended for 5 games. Excuse me? Come again? 5 games? 5 games? If Herb Jones had done this exact same thing, Adam Silver would have thrown the book at him. But when Draymond Green does it, a player with a long history of being a fungus, he only gets 5 games. I wanted to see him kicked out of the league. Now, obviously, that's never going to happen, but at minimum, I think Draymond Green should have been suspended for half the season, if not the entire season. Instead, Adam Silver gives him a soft pat on the ass and tells him, Draymond, you stop doing that right now. Have you guys ever seen the movie American Gangster? Classic movie. Denzel Washington plays the role of former Harlem gangster Frank Lucas. There is a line in that movie that I will never forget. Denzel Washington is speaking to one of his younger brothers who he had brought into the drug business. His brother was dressing flashy, flaunting his money, begging to be noticed. Denzel Washington pulls him aside. He says, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room. That line perfectly describes Draymond Green. It seems like this dude constantly feels this need to overcompensate. He constantly feels the need to insert himself into the spotlight. He can't do that with his talent or lack thereof. Can't do that by being a star player on the court because he's not. He's always been in the shadow of Steph Curry, and for a few years, he was in the shadow of Kevin Durant. So how does he get noticed? By being a complete shitfuck. Why do you think that is, though? Why does Draymond Green feel this need to overcompensate? Maybe, just maybe, he realizes he would not have a career in the NBA without Steph Curry. Maybe he realizes he ain't good enough. I was reading the Associated Press earlier this afternoon. They said that Draymond Green would likely be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And if that happens, the Hall of Fame, in my eyes, loses all credibility. This dude is not a Hall of Fame player. He averages 8.7 rebounds, 5 assists. Does that sound like a Hall of Famer to you? But KC, he's won 4 rings. So? Robert Horry won 7. He could actually make clutch shots. He's not in the Hall of Fame. Draymond Green is an absolute disgrace. He is a plague on this league. Should have been suspended for half the season at minimum. Wouldn't have bothered me if Adam Silver suspended him for the entire season, or even better, kick him out of the NBA altogether. But give me your thoughts on this. I will admit, I will be fully transparent here. I am biased when it comes to Draymond Green because I think he's detestable. So you tell me, how long should the suspension be? Was 5 games enough considering the long history of this doofus? Do you hold Steve Kerr partially responsible for the behavior of Draymond Green? Let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate you guys and your continued support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.